You're talking about how to mix vocals properly in FL 21 or fucking Pro Tools, whatever you want to use, every DAW. For this, I'm going to use Sac, which is like an unbalanced March 2018. What is it, June 2018 song. So these are raw vocals. Here they sound like. Actually, they have tune on them, so I'm going to turn that off real quick. And we'll go.
You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling. I be with the dogs biting and acting violent. 40 on me, no silence. Kill a nigga, put his body on the island. Now I got your mom on my island. I'm like, look what your son did. Had to kill him over nonsense. Every day I'm about my profit. Run up bands, I love profit. It was no love for me at the bottom.
Alright, so that's the chorus for the song, Unbound. So it's obviously open as shit. But to make a good example, so what we're gonna do, right? Check your vocals out on different tracks, and so that way when there's two instances of a clip or audio, like we're just talking over each other, kind of like this part.
Now I got your
So he finishes this line, but this one also starts before this one's done.
Now I got your mom on my island.
So the first thing I'm gonna do to fix this, when it comes to auto-tune at least, is have these on different tracks. So you'll just go over here, track mode, and you'll assign this to a mixer. And then you'll do that for this next one as well. So if I were to go ahead, and I'm going to show you guys this because I'm going to do a different effect here. 7, 8, and that will be these two mixes right here. And you'll put auto-tune on both of these with the same settings. And that way any track on this one will not be affected by this one. So that's the easy explanation of that. So when you actually watch the mix.
Silence. Kill a nigga, put his body on the island. Now I got your mom on my island.
Alright, next up, auto-tune, right? Most of the time, you can get away with low mail, and then you put the key in. And then juice is obviously a very... depends on the song. Input type will be... You can either be one of these three. Usually, the learn setting is kind of ass and doesn't really reflect on the actual artist's voice. So just play with it, find out what input type works best for you. Input the key, and then play with the retune speed. So I'll turn this on now so you can actually hear it.
Silence. Kill a nigga, put his body on the island. Now I got your mom on my...
So that's what it sounds like with auto-tune on. But just remember, be mindful of this because you don't want to go too crazy.
You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling. I be with the dogs biting and acting violent. You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling. I be with the dogs biting and acting violent. 40 on me, no silence.
So sometimes you can get away with that shit, but not in every case. Alright. Next up, when it comes to mixing, so right, we're gonna take all these vocals. If you want to do an intro track, same shit. And then I like to use phone and then put Pan Man on it. If you don't want to do that, you can use like the fucking Fruity thing. I don't remember what it's called, like Fruity Panomatic. Yeah, this shit does the same thing. You just change the speed. I do pan, and then I fucking put the speed up to like that shit. That's like pretty good. And I'm gonna show you guys how to do this a lot of this, but stock plugins. Except autotune is kind of like the hit or miss one. If you can't get a good autotune, then I mean honestly, I just pay for it. I pay for autotune. It's like $25 a month or some shit for all the variations that you could ever need. You get like EFX Plus and all that shit. It's like all this shit up here, wherever it's at. I don't see it in here. Artist EFX Plus, hybrid. You get all those. They're all useful. All right, next up, right? I'm gonna route this shit to a mixer. So set this to Y3. So I pick normally track 10. It's the easiest one. Main mix. You gotta rename this shit. Color. I like the color code and everything. Next one gonna be delay. You want to do delay before reverb because you don't want the delay to delay the reverb. It will sound really weird, and it clutters your mix up. Don't mind my Discord push to me key. There you go. All right, main mix. Chain these. Take this, and then what we're gonna do is gonna highlight all these tracks. Gonna right click, route only this track. So now these are all gonna go into this mixer, which are now being side chained to these, which are sent. Well, they're actually called sends, but yeah, you're sending it to these two as well. So delay, right? For delay, I personally like to go age delay. Free delay works. Turn off analog. That shit sounds terrible. 1/4. Put that shit up. Feedback. I like to go like 30 to 40, and then you could play with the low pass. You want it to be like EQ'd, like a phone ad lib echo. You can do like 4.5K and then like 200 or like 190, I usually like 150, 4.7, 4.5K area, and then adjust the volume. We'll adjust the volume accordingly after. You still listen. Reverb. I prefer factory, halls, large hall 3. It's one I like to use. And then I turn the time up to like 4. I like to have a really long decay time on my reverb. But if you don't have this, or you don't have H delay, you guys can do this with fruity delay and fruity reverb. So here's fruity reverb and high cut, low cut. You can turn these up. And I like this on the size up. Make this really wide. I'll show you to do that in a second. Decay time. Put this shit up too. Wet all the way up, dry all the way down, and then we'll adjust it afterwards. H delay, right? Good replacement. It could be fruity delay 3. In here, time. This would be like how fast it hits. The notes are. Rate obviously is rate. Level. Don't worry about any of that shit. High pass, low pass. You can do all that shit still in here. I prefer H delay though. That's the one I like to use, but it works the same way. So I'll just go ahead and put those same settings on real quick. Like this. And there you go. Also, you can play with this. You can change this to milliseconds and have like a crazy fucking delay if you want to, like where it's instant. I'll make a second video of how to do like all the extra like cool effects and shit afterwards. But anyways, another one that you can use for reverb is H-verb. This one's really good too. You can use like big plates and use like huge verb, and this like sounds crazy. And I like to typically just around 30, which is negative 16 dB. And the delay, I thought it's just like 20, negative 21 dB. You play, it'll be like this.
You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling. I be with the dogs biting and acting violent. 40 on me, no silence. Kill a nigga, put his body on the island. Yeah. Now I got your mom.
Alright. This time I go over EQs, because this song's I already EQ'd this song, but so alright, so for EQs, right? Start the lows and cut out some of that.
You be with the dogs bark.
Don't cut too much because you end up cutting the bass out of the voice. So, and you're gonna cut out frequencies that sound like they're in a cup. It's like this.
Man, fuck.
And I'm just cutting that dynamically. So when I edit this, I have the band turned down, but the dynamic range is up. And this one is just a cut, and I could probably tighten it up, or if I wanted to, but.
With the dogs bite. Silence, killing.
And then raise the highs up a little bit. On this song, there's not too many problems with the EQ, with the ranges, but you could always change stuff too. Alright. Another thing, never normalize your tracks, because when you normalize shit, that's when stuff gets really loud. It's easier to bring it up with a compressor than it is to fix it now, like with normalization. It's all over the place then. So now with reverb, delay, and just EQ, the song will sound like
you
this.
be with the dogs barking and fucking growling. I be with the dogs biting and acting violent. 40 on me, no silence. Kill a nigga, put his body on the island. Yeah. Now I got your mom on my island. Yeah. I'm like, look what your son did. To kill him over nonsense. Every day I'm about my profit. Run up bands, I love profit. It was no love for me at the bottom.
And we can use that to actually help us with intros as well. So this intro, I cut here and here. Get rid of that white noise. Fade this out a lot and fade it in a lot as well. That way it'll just be like soft.
You be with the dogs barking.
No, it's not really apparent. That's there.
You be with the dogs.
Alright, time for mixing the extra vocals. Alright, so there are two things that will always be done to vocals. That's compression, EQ. Compression, EQ. And EQ will be done to SSL normally. That's the way I like to do it. And then compression, there's like a million different compressors out there. You can use Fruity Compressor, fucking RComp, RVox, CLA, UAD is the one I prefer. But I'll show you guys the way I start. So what I like to do is start with multi-band compression at the very beginning of my chain. And I'll just listen to it. So I start with vocal, and I'll listen how it sounds. So now I'll play the main vocal.
You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling. I be with the dogs biting and acting violent. 40 on me, no silence. Kill a nigga.
So you see how that's kind of louder with pop vocal. It's the one that I normally like to use, but play with these ranges.
You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling. I be with the dogs biting and acting violent. 40 on me, no silence. Kill a nigga, put his body on the island. Yeah.
So another one that's also really good in here you can use is you go to Dave Passato. Passato vocal is really good.
You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling. I be with the dogs biting and acting violent.
Alright, sounds good, right? Alright, next up, I like to use a modulator. So in this case, Aphex Vintage Exciter. This is the one I prefer to use. And so there's different modes, but these all sound different. AX is the only one that you cannot mix because AX does and changes the voice entirely to this.
You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling.
And there are times that's good to use on ad-libs and shit, but it just depends on the song. So for me, I like to use Mix 1 or BP. I like BP. If you ever listen to like Lady Juice with 3 songs or anything fucking the Max would ever worked on, Dexter Love, etc. It's all Mix 1.
You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling.
And that's what that one sounds like. I put the mix on 5. Don't put it any higher, honestly. You have problems when you get this high. It just sounds
You be with the dogs
weird. So I leave it at 4 to 5 is the sweet spot, and I use BP.
You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling. I be with the dogs biting and acting violent.
You can hear what that does to it. It's nice tone on the voice. Changes how it sounds. Sounds really good. Alright, next up, SSL. You can use SSL channel, fucking stereo, SSL EV2, or the one that people are using now. Use SSL SSLG. That's the same. It all works the same. Use SSL. Lead Vox is a very good preset.
You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling.
As well as backing box, but I use this typically in background vocals. Make sure to turn analog off on all these, by the way.
You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling.
So I think on this song, Lead Vox, that sound better.
You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling. I be with the dogs biting and acting violent.
And so another thing, if on my compression, if I don't like how it sounds after I compress, I'm going to open slot 2 up and I'm going to put another plug in there, but we'll go there in a second. Next, I'm going to compress this vocal. I use CLA, or not CLA, UAD, 1176. Vocals, lead vocal, and it sounds like this.
You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling. I be with the dogs biting and acting violent. 40 on me, no silence.
Remember, low attack, high release, and then input, low, high output. Just brings everything up. Ratio 4 to 1. So if you don't have that, though, because it's like a $300 plugin, you can go to CLA, attack 1, release 7. Same shit.
You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling. I be with the dogs biting and acting violent.
But we're going to replace that once again. We use our comp because it's the one a lot of people have. So with this, you're going to play with the ratio.
You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling.
I like to go like 3.5 to 1. And then attack, I like to go really low, like 3. And then release like 170. Threshold, you put this right below the yellow bar.
You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling. I be with the dogs biting and acting violent. 40 on me, no silence. Kill a nigga, put his body on the island. Yeah. Now I got your mom on my island. Yeah. I'm like, look what your son did. To kill him over nonsense. Every day I'm about my pride. Run up, bang.
Next, SS1 imager, he's gonna put this like 1.2. Give the vocal a little bit of stereo width to it. Also on reverb, I like to go on that reverb and put it like 2.5. Get that reverb really wide.
You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling. I be with the dogs biting and acting violent.
In this case, I don't think it really needs it. Alright, master track, right? Here's just the fucking easiest way to do this shit. Here you go. So make your song sound 11 times better if you just do this. There you go. It's all you need to do. On your master, SSL comp, Kramer tape, L2. And you don't have fucking free limit on your Edison if you're trying to make effects and shit. I'll show you that does in a minute. But it's all you need to do on your master track. It's really simple. Right, and that's not even turned on yet. When you turn that on, the songs become way louder. So if this doesn't sound good to me, then I'm gonna go over here, Kramer, Pi stereo, and I'm gonna compress the shit out of it. So threshold like -4, output put on 0, and then the compression ratio like 3 or 2, and then put the decay time on 1.
You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling. I be with the dogs biting and acting.
And you can hear what that does. It's more compression.
You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling. I be with the dogs biting and acting violent. 40.
And as always, you want to put the decay time or analog stuff, turn that shit off. Alright, I'm going to play with the beat now. I'm going to level this out. So here's the beat.
You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling. I be with the dogs biting and acting violent. 40 on me, no silence. Kill a nigga, put his body on the island. Now I got your mom on my island. I'm like, look what your son did.
Alright, so now when I turn this master track on right here, it's going to be way louder.
You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling. I be with the dogs biting and acting violent. 40 on me, no silence. Kill a nigga, put his body on the island. Now I got your mom on my island. I'm like, look what your son did. Kill him over nonsense. Every day I'm about my bra, front up bands, I love profit. It was no love for me at the bottom. So much money, it look like I live in the bank. Why you lying to these hoes? Say you rich, but you ain't. If you look at my watch, you'll go blind, then you'll faint.
Alright. So this song might be open as shit, but just get a little touch. So right here, this vocal comes after the chorus ends.
Bottom, so much money.
But if I wanted it to sound better, so what I did, right? Open this vocal up, and you're going to Edison, and you're going to chop the beginning of it,
So much.
and you're going to cut the end of it, so it's just one word.
So.
Alright, I'm going to reverse this, Alt, left arrow key, click reverb, add tail, wet all the way up, dry all the way down, except, reverse it again, drag it out, line it up. It's that simple. When you play it, you get this.
Love for me at the bottom. So much money, it look like I live in the bank. Why you lying to?
And so you hear that again.
So much money, it look like I live in the bank. Why you lying to these hoes? Say you rich, but you ain't. If you look at my watch, you'll go blind, then you'll faint.
Alright, another thing, right? So what I like to do, track mode 7, and then, so if I want this to sound different, I'm going to cut this vocal right here, right before it says the word bottom.
Bottom.
And say I want it to echo more, right? So I want to turn the reverb up to like 30, I think it'll sound better. I'm just going to copy one of these, file, save, and I'm going to drag it to this. Rename this to FX send, right? Route it to here, change the color to like, I don't know, green or some shit. And then this is what FXLA is. So it looks like this. This is a preset from Girl in My Dream session. Milliseconds. Turn this all the way up to fucking 168 milliseconds. Low pass down, high pass up. Feedback on 58. Output on 2.4, wet all the way up. Depth on 29. Analog off, right? Reverb. It's going to be just a little bit of pre-delay. Quick-ish. A little bit higher than normal decay time. And then turn diffusion up like 50. You're going to chain that to here and then the main mix. So it'll be like that. And you're going to go ahead and make this unique. Separate it, put it down here. And now when this plays, it'll be like this.
For me at the bottom, so much money, it look like I live in the bank. Why you lying to these hoes? Say you rich, but you ain't. If you look at my watch, you'll go blind, then you'll faint.
And there are other ways to spice up vocals. A lot of times, like, you can use a lot of stock plugins to make shit sound good. I know another way to make shit sound good, like if you want to give some vocal some spice, at the end of the chain you could put on like a flanger, or I wouldn't even do it at the end of a chain. I would more or less make it as a send. So I'd push my delay and reverb tracks down, and then here I'd be like flanger, chorus, and then just color this shit like. And then I use air plugins. You can use the default fruity ones. Actually, I'll just do the fruity ones real quick, because actually I don't even know what the fuck they're at in here. Here's flanger and chorus, one chorus. Right, and then there's some good presets in here. I know are good. Like, I think the one I used before was like the CE shit. You know, to send this and turn it down.
for me at the bottom. So much money.
And if you want to hear what that does to it, you can actually just mute these two and take this out the master, and now you'll just hear it as solely the chorus.
So much money, it look like I live in the bank. Why you lying to these hoes? Say you rich, but you ain't. If you look at my watch, you gon' blind in your face. So much money, it look like I live in the bank. Why you lying to these hoes? Say you rich, but you ain't.
So flanger, right? I know in Fruity at least, I wouldn't use it. I would use the flangers one. This one I would use instead. I'll close that. There we go.
So much money, it look like I live.
And that's what this does. I'll just show you quick. Oh.
So much money, it look like I live in the bank. Why you lying to these hoes? Say you rich, but you ain't. If you look.
And I'll show you what I like to do if I have something like this on here. I like to go double layer. There's a way to do this without stock plugins, but you have to like make multiple tracks and cinch it around, and then do this and cut the direct.
So much money, it look like I live in the bank. Why you lying to these hoes? Say you rich, but you ain't. If you look at my watch, you'll go blind in your face.
And then, but yeah, I'm not gonna do that for this song because I don't really think it needs it.
So,
but yeah, that's my that's the basics how you mix juice vocals at least. Like, there's a million other things you can do to mix like stock plugins, stock vocals, and all this shit. But I'll make a separate video for that stuff later. But this is really just for the Juice style vocals, because Juice's vocals, I mean, on every song it varies. Every song you need something different. So that's why like, people need to stop trying to sell you fucking vocal presets that make you sound like Juice WRLD. It's not ever gonna happen. It just does not work that way. Like, all of his songs are mixed by different engineers, different ways, different methods. Everything's done differently. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little video I made. This is Sack Sack, or Island is I think what the community calls the song. But yeah, that's all from me, guys. I'll see you guys later.
You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling. I be with the dogs biting and acting violent. 40 on me, no silence. Kill a nigga, put his body on the island. Yeah. Now I got your mom on my island. Yeah. I'm like, look what your son did. Kill him over nonsense. Every day I'm about my pride. Front up bands, I love profit. There was no love for me at the bottom. So much money, it look like I live in the bank. Why you lying to these hoes? Say you rich, but you ain't. If you look at my watch, you'll go blind in your face. You be with the dogs barking and fucking growling. I be with the